For 9 years, a billionaire's son lived in darkness. Born blind, raised in a world of wealth that couldn't buy him a single ray of light. Then one afternoon, he wandered into the woods behind their estate and vanished. Search teams scoured every inch. Dogs, helicopters, thermal cameras. Nothing. 72 hours passed. Hope died. Then a 13-year-old black boy with no shoes and a gift nobody believed in walked out of those same woods holding the blind child's hand. Both of them safe. Both of them smiling. But what that boy said he saw in those woods, what he said the blind child showed him, that's when everything changed. Because the billionaire's son wasn't lost. He was looking for something, and what they found together would destroy everything the father thought he knew about his own family. Before we continue, subscribe right now and comment where you're watching from, because what happens next will make you question whether the people protecting your children are the ones you should fear most. The nursery was silent except for the sound of breathing. Robert Mercer III stood over his son's crib, watching the baby's eyes move beneath closed lids. Dreaming maybe, or just darkness within darkness. Does he know? Robert whispered. His wife, Catherine, stood beside him. Know what? That he'll never see us. She took his hand. He'll know us in other ways. Robert pulled away. He walked to the window overlooking their estate. 300 acres of manicured perfection. Gardens his son would never see. A lake that would never reflect in his eyes. Sir, a voice from the doorway. Robert turned. His head of security, Marcus, a former Marine who'd been with the family for 15 years. The specialist from Johns Hopkins just called. He's reviewed the scans. And Marcus's face said everything. The optic nerves never developed. There's nothing to repair. Robert's jaw clenched. Give me someone else. Sir, we've consulted. I don't care how many we've consulted. Find someone else. Marcus nodded and left. Catherine walked over. Robert, don't. We have to accept. I don't accept anything. He turned to face her. I built a Fortune 500 company from nothing. I've made the impossible happen a dozen times over. I will not accept that my son has to live in darkness. Some things money can't fix. He looked at his infant son. Then what good is it? 5 years passed. The boy's name was Ethan. He learned to walk by holding walls. Learned to speak by listening to voices. Learned the mansion by counting steps, by feeling textures, by memorizing the echo of each room. Robert hired the best orientation and mobility specialists. Brought in teachers from the Perkins School for the Blind. Installed tactile maps throughout the house. But he never stopped searching for a cure. One night, Ethan was 5 years old, sitting at the dinner table. A specialist was visiting from Germany, explaining some new experimental procedure. The success rate is approximately 12%, the doctor said. 12 is better than 0, Robert replied. Papa. Ethan's small voice cut through the conversation. Robert stopped. Yes, son. Why do you keep trying to fix me? The table went silent. I'm not trying to fix you. You're not broken. Then why do all these doctors keep coming? Robert's throat tightened. I just want you to see. See what? Everything. The world. Colors. Your mother's face. My face. Ethan tilted his head. But I already know you. It's not the same. How do you know? The 5-year-old's question hung in the air. You've never been blind. Catherine put her hand over her mouth. Robert stood up from the table and left the room. The boy across town had a different kind of darkness. Jamal Washington lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with his grandmother. His mother was gone, overdosed when he was 6. Father never in the picture. But Jamal had something nobody could explain. It started when he was 7. His grandmother took him to the grocery store. An old woman was looking at tomatoes. Nana, Jamal whispered, that lady is sad. Don't point, baby. I'm not pointing. I just see it. See what? The sad. It's all around her. Like smoke but blue. His grandmother looked at the woman. She was smiling, chatting with the produce clerk. She looks fine to me. But when they got to the checkout, they heard commotion behind them. The old woman had collapsed. The clerk was calling 911. Her husband just died, someone said. She told me last week. Said she didn't know how to go on. Jamal's grandmother looked at him differently after that. It happened again 2 months later. A man at the bus stop. Nana, we need to move. Why? That man. He's got red all around him. Red, angry red, like fire. 5 minutes later, the man started screaming at another passenger. Pulled knife. Jamal and his grandmother had already moved to the other end of the platform. By the time Jamal was 13, his grandmother had accepted it. Her grandson could see things others couldn't. Emotions, intentions, pain, danger. It's a gift, she told him. It feels like a curse, he said. I see everybody's hurt all the time. Then you know who needs help. What if I can't help them? She kissed his forehead. You try anyway. Ethan turned 9. He knew the mansion perfectly now. Every room, every hallway, every step. But he'd started asking about outside. What's past the garden? He asked his orientation specialist. Woods. About 200 acres of forest. Can I go there? The specialist looked uncomfortable. That would be difficult. The terrain is unpredictable. Roots, slopes, streams. But possible? Ethan, I don't think. Is it possible? The specialist sighed. With proper training and supervision, possibly. That night at dinner, Ethan brought it up. I want to learn the woods. Robert didn't look up from his plate. No, why not? It's not safe. The house isn't safe either. I've fallen down the stairs twice. That's different. Ow! Robert set down his fork. Because in the house, I can protect you. I don't need protection. I need to learn. The answer is no. Ethan's jaw clenched. He was 9, but in that moment, Robert saw himself. The same stubbornness. The same refusal to accept limitations. You keep me in a prison, Ethan said quietly. I keep you safe. Same thing. The boy stood up, counted his steps, and left the room. Catherine looked at her husband. He's right. He's 9. He's suffocating. Robert stood. He's blind, Catherine. The world isn't built for blind children. Then maybe we build a different world. He walked out. 2 weeks later, Ethan slipped away. It was a Sunday afternoon. Catherine was at a charity luncheon. Robert was in his study on a conference call. The household staff was changing shifts. Ethan counted the steps from his room to the back door. 53. He'd been counting for 2 weeks, memorizing, planning. The door was unlocked. The staff used it for smoke breaks. He stepped outside. The sun was warm on his face. He could hear birds, wind through leaves, the distant sound of the fountain. He walked across the stone patio. 20 steps, then grass. Soft, uneven. He kept walking. Behind the garden was a fence, but Ethan had heard the gardeners talking about the gate. Left unlocked most days for equipment access. He found it, pushed through, and stepped into the woods. Marcus discovered he was missing at 4:47 p.m. By 5 o'clock, the entire security team was searching. By 5:30, Robert had canceled everything and was on the property. By 6 o'clock, they'd called the police. A blind 9-year-old, the detective said, writing in his notepad. How long has he been missing? At least 90 minutes. Maybe more. The detective looked at the woods. That's a lot of ground to cover. Robert's voice was ice. Then I suggest you start covering it. By nightfall, they had 20 officers, 3 K9 units, and a helicopter with thermal imaging. They found nothing. Jamal heard about it on the news that night. Blind boy missing in Riverside Woods. Search continues through the night. His grandmother shook her head. Lord, that poor baby. Jamal stared at the television. Something pulled at his chest. Nana, I need to go there. She looked at him. Where? Those woods. Baby, the police are. I can find him. Jamal, you don't know that. Yes, I do. He stood up. I can feel him. His grandmother had learned to trust those feelings. It's 9 at night. Those woods are dangerous. He's in there alone. And he's scared. She studied his face. Then sighed. Get your jacket. They took 2 torches and walked a mile to reach the edge of Riverside Woods. Police cars everywhere. Searchlights cutting through the trees. Voices calling the boy's name. Stay here, Jamal told his grandmother. You're 13 years old. I know. Stay here. Please. She grabbed his arm. You come back, you hear me? I will. He slipped past the police perimeter while they were coordinating near the command tent. The woods swallowed him. Jamal had been in force before, but never like this. Never at night. Never alone. But he wasn't looking with his eyes. He closed them and felt. There, northwest, a presence. Small, frightened, but not panicking. Jamal walked. Branches caught his clothes. Roots tried to trip him, but he kept moving toward that feeling. 20 minutes in, he called out, "Ethan!" Silence. "Ethan, my name is Jamal. I'm here to help you." A voice, small and distant. "I'm not lost." Jamal followed the sound. "You're not?" "No, I'm looking for something." "What?" "I don't know yet." Jamal pushed through a thicket and found him. A small boy sitting on a fallen log, face turned upward like he was looking at the stars he couldn't see. Jamal stopped. The boy was surrounded by color, but not normal colors. Something Jamal had never seen before. Gold light. Soft, warm, pulsing gently around child. "You're different," Jamal whispered. Ethan turned his head. "You can see it?" "See what?" "The light. Everyone says I'm in darkness, but I see light everywhere. I just want to know if it was real." Jamal's breath caught. "It's real. You can see it too?" "I see it around you." Ethan smiled. "I knew I wasn't making it up." Jamal sat down on the log beside him. "We should get you home. Your dad is really worried." "My dad thinks I'm broken." "You're not." "I know." Ethan tilted his head. "You got colors too. Purple and green. What does that mean?" Jamal stared at him. "You can see my colors?" "I can see everyone's. That's how I know where people are. That's how I walk around without hitting things. But nobody believes me." "I believe you." Ethan reached out his hand. Jamal took it. "Will you tell them?" Ethan asked. "Will you tell my dad I'm not broken?" "I'll tell him." They started walking back. Jamal guided them through the dark woods while Ethan described the colors he saw around every tree, every animal, every living thing. By the time they emerged from the tree line, the search party had grown to 40 people. Robert saw them first. A black teenager in worn sneakers, no jacket, holding his son's hand. Both of them filthy. Both of them smiling. Robert ran. He collapsed in front of Ethan, grabbing him, checking him for injuries. "Are you hurt? Are you okay? What were you thinking?" "I'm fine, Papa." Robert pulled back, tears streaming down his face. Then he looked at Jamal. "Who are you?" "Jamal Washington, sir." "You found him?" "He wasn't really lost." Robert stood. "How did you know where to look?" Jamal hesitated. This was the moment that would change everything. Comment below. Would you tell the truth knowing nobody would believe you? Or would you lie to protect yourself? Most people would lie. But if you're still watching, you're not most people. Subscribe now, because what Jamal says next will expose a truth that destroys this father's entire world. Jamal looked at the billionaire, at the police, at the crowd of searchers all staring at him. A black kid from the east side. "No credencials. No reason to be here." "I felt him," Jamal said quietly. Robert frowned. "What?" "I felt where he was." A detective stepped forward. "Son, these woods are 200 acres. You just happened to walk straight to him." "I didn't happen to. I knew." "Ow!" Jamal's grandmother pushed through the crowd. "Baby, maybe we should." "I can see things," Jamal said. "Emotions. Energy. I saw his fear. I followed it." The detective exchanged a look with another officer. "Right." Robert stared at Jamal. "You see things." "Yes, sir." "What do you see right now?" Jamal looked at him. The billionaire was surrounded by gray. Heavy, suffocating gray mixed with sharp red spikes. "Guilt," Jamal said. "And anger. Not at me. At yourself." Robert's face went pale. "You blame yourself for him going missing. But it's deeper than that. You blame yourself for his blindness. Like you failed him somehow." Catherine had arrived. She stopped walking, listening. "How could you possibly?" Robert started. "Because I can see it around you. Like smoke. Everyone has colors. You've got gray and red. Your wife has blue and yellow. Sad but hopeful." Catherine stepped forward. "What does my son have?" Jamal looked at Ethan. "Gold. I've never seen that before." Ethan smiled. "See, Papa? I told you. I told you I could see colors." Robert looked at his son. "What are you talking about?" "I'm not in darkness. I see light. Everywhere. Around people. Around trees. Around everything alive. It's beautiful." "Ethan, you're blind." "I can't see with my eyes. But I can see." He turned to where Jamal stood. "He sees it too." He said so. Robert looked between them. "This is insane." "Is it?" Catherine moved closer. "He's never bumped into people. Never. We thought it was echolocation, but what if it's something else? Don't enable this fantasy. What if it's not a fantasy?" A police officer stepped forward. "Mr. Mercer, regardless of how this young man found your son, we're grateful. But we need to get the boy checked by EMTs." "Of course." Robert turned to Jamal. Thank you. I'll make sure you're compensated for. I don't want money, Jamal said. Everyone wants money. I just wanted to help. Robert studied him. Why? Because he needed it. And I could. The billionaire pulled out his wallet. At least let me pay you for your time. Jamal's grandmother put her hand on his shoulder. We appreciate it, but no thank you. Robert stared at them. He wasn't used to people refusing his money. Then what do you want? For you to listen to your son, Jamal said. He's trying to tell you something important. Robert looked at Ethan, being checked over by paramedics. The boy was smiling, talking animatedly about the woods, about the colors, about what he discovered. I've listened to him for 9 years. No, Jamal said quietly. You try to fix him. That's different. The words hit Robert like a punch. Who the hell do you think you are? Someone who sees clearly. Robert stepped forward. Marcus moved between them. Sir, maybe we should. This kid wanders into my property, fills my son's head with nonsense about seeing colors. And now he's giving me parenting advice? I didn't wander onto your property. I walked 2 hours to find your son because I knew he was scared and alone. And he's not full of nonsense. He sees something real. You're just too afraid to believe it. Afraid? I've spent millions trying to help him see. You spent millions trying to make him normal. That's different. Catherine gasped. Robert's hands were shaking. Get off my property. Jamal nodded. Yes, sir. He turned to his grandmother. Let's go. Wait. Ethan's voice. The boy had pulled away from the paramedics. He walked forward, hand outstretched. Jamal took it. Thank you, Ethan whispered, for believing me. I'll always believe you. Ethan turned his head toward his father. Papa, he's telling the truth. Ethan, I'm not broken. I'm different. Please stop trying to fix me. Robert's face crumpled. I just want you to have a normal life. I don't want normal. I want true. The boy let go of Jamal's hand and walked to his father. Robert knelt down, pulling him close. Jamal and his grandmother walked away. They made it to the edge of the property when they heard running footsteps. Catherine, wait please. They stopped. She was out of breath. I am sorry. My husband is... This has been difficult for him. I understand, Jamal's grandmother said. Catherine looked at Jamal. Can you really see things? Emotions and energy? Yes, ma'am. Since when? Since I was 7. Maybe before, but that's when I noticed. Has anyone studied it? Doctors, scientists? Jamal laughed. We can barely afford regular doctors. Catherine pulled out a card. This is my personal number. I want to talk more. Not now, but soon. Would that be okay? Jamal took the card. Why? Because if what you and my son are saying is true, it changes everything. And I need to understand it. She walked back to the chaos of emergency vehicles and search teams. Jamal and his grandmother headed to the bus stop. That was something, she said. I know. You made a powerful enemy tonight. I know that too. But you also told the truth. Jamal looked back at the mansion on the hill. Someone had to. 3 days passed. Robert tried to go back to normal. Meetings, conference calls, business as usual. But Ethan's words haunted him. I'm not broken. I'm different. He'd spent 9 years trying to cure his son. Specialists, experimental treatments, cutting-edge technology. All of it trying to make Ethan see with his eyes. But what if the boy was already seeing something Robert couldn't? He was in his study when Catherine knocked. Can we talk? He gestured to a chair. She sat. I called Jamal. Why? Because I needed to understand. Understand what? He's a kid with an overactive imagination. Is he? How did he walk straight to Ethan in 200 acres of dark forest? Lucky guess. Robert. He slammed his hand on the desk. What do you want me to say? That our blind son can see magical colors? That a teenager from the East Side has psychic powers? It's insane. What if it's not? Then the world doesn't work the way we think it does. Would that be so terrible? He stared at her. Yes, because I've built my entire life on understanding how things work. Cause and effect. Problem and solution. If that's all wrong, then you're not in control. Silence. That's what you're really afraid of, Catherine continued. Not that Ethan is different, that you can't fix it. I'm his father. I'm supposed to protect him. You are protecting him, but maybe not from what you think. Robert looked out the window. What did Jamal say when you called? That Ethan has a gift. That most people are blind to what really matters, but Ethan sees it clearly. That's poetic nonsense. Is it? When's the last time you asked Ethan what he sees? Robert didn't answer. You ask doctors. You ask specialists. You ask everyone except him. She stood and walked to the door. I invited Jamal and his grandmother to dinner tomorrow night. You what? 7 o'clock. Casual. She paused. And Robert? If you refuse to come, I'll know you're not afraid of being wrong. You're afraid of being right. She left. Robert sat in the silence of his study. His phone rang. Marcus. Sir, we have a problem. What now? The security footage from the day Ethan went missing. You should see this. What is it? Just come to the security office. Robert walked into the surveillance room. Marcus pulled up footage from the back door camera. Ethan approaching the door, looking around. Then something strange. The boy reached out his hand, touching the air in front of him like he was feeling something. What is he doing? Robert asked. Watch. Ethan moved his hand in a pattern, tracing something, like he was following a path only he could see. Then he walked forward confidently, no hesitation. He's not feeling his way, Marcus said. He's following something. They watched him cross the patio, walk through the garden, find the gate. Not by memorization, by sight, but not sight with eyes. Sir, Marcus said quietly. What if that kid was telling the truth? Robert watched the footage again. His son, moving through space like he could see, because maybe he could. The next night, Robert sat at the dinner table. Catherine was in the kitchen with the chef. Ethan was in the living room, waiting. The doorbell rang. Marcus opened it. Jamal and his grandmother stood there. She wore her Sunday best. Jamal wore a button-up shirt that was too small. Welcome, Catherine said, appearing from the kitchen. Thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting us, Jamal's grandmother said. Your home is beautiful. Ethan came running from the living room. Jamal, hey, man. They hugged like old friends. Robert watched from the doorway, uncomfortable in his own home. Catherine guided everyone to the dining room. The table was set. Casual, she'd said, but it was still crystal and fine china. Jamal's grandmother looked overwhelmed. Mrs. Washington, please sit, Catherine said. Can I get you something to drink? Water is fine, thank you. They all sat. Awkward silence. Then Ethan spoke. Jamal, tell Papa what you see. Jamal looked at Robert, still surrounded by gray, but less red now. More blue underneath. Fear, Jamal said. Robert stiffened. Excuse me, you're afraid of what I see, of what Ethan sees, of what it means. You don't know anything about me. I know you love your son. The blue under the gray, that's love. But the gray is heavy. You're carrying something. Catherine leaned forward. What kind of gray? Grief, I think. Or guilt. Something old. Robert's jaw clenched. Ethan tilted his head. Papa has had gray since I was born. Everyone looked at him. You can see it too? Catherine asked. Always. I thought everyone did. What does it look like to you? Like clouds. Heavy clouds around his heart. Catherine looked at her husband. Robert, he stood up. This is ridiculous. We're sitting here like these children have some kind of mystical insight. They found each other in the dark, Catherine said. Explain that. Coincidence. 200 acres. Lucky. Jamal's grandmother spoke up. Mr. Mercer, I understand this is difficult. My grandson has had this ability his whole life. I didn't believe it either at first. Then what changed your mind? He told me my sister was dying. She lived 3 states away. I hadn't talked to her in weeks, but he saw dark red around me and said someone I loved was very sick. I called. She'd just been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He was 8 years old. Robert sat back down. I don't understand how it works, she continued, but I've learned to trust it. Catherine reached across the table and took Jamal's hand. What do you see around me? Blue. Sadness. But also yellow. Hope. Why sad? He hesitated. Please, she said. I want to know. You miss something? Someone maybe? Or a version of yourself you used to be? Her eyes filled with tears. I wanted more children. We tried for years. It didn't happen. Robert looked at her, surprised. She'd never said it out loud before. The yellow. Catherine whispered. You still have hope. For Ethan. For your family. You believe things can get better. She wiped her eyes. What does Ethan have? You said gold. Jamal looked at the boy. The gold light was brighter now. Pulsing. Purpose, Jamal said. He's here for a reason. What reason? I don't know yet. But it's big. Ethan smiled. I know what it is. Everyone turned to him. I'm supposed to help people see what they're missing. What are they missing? Robert asked, his voice cracking. What's real? The boy reached out, and Robert took his hand. Papa, you can't see with your eyes like other people. But you're blind too. You just don't know it. Blind to what? To what matters. The words hung in the air. Robert looked at his son, really looked at him. This small boy who he tried to fix for 9 years. Who wasn't broken. Who saw more than anyone. I am sorry, Robert whispered. I've been so focused on making you see. I forgot to listen to what you've been trying to show me. Ethan leaned forward and hugged his father. Catherine covered her mouth, crying. Jamal's grandmother smiled. And Jamal watched the gray around Robert start to lighten. Not gone, but lifting. After dinner, Robert asked Jamal to walk with him. They went to the study. Can I ask you something? Robert said, Yes, sir. When you look at me, what else do you see? Besides the gray, Jamal looked, really looked. There was something else. A dark spot. Small but growing. There's something wrong. In your chest. Left side. Robert froze. What kind of wrong? I don't know. But it's dark. Red and black. You should see a doctor. I see doctors regularly. Everything's fine. When was your last checkup? 8 months ago. You should go again. Robert stared at him. You're serious? Yes, sir. They stood in silence. If you're wrong, then I'm wrong. But if I'm right and you ignore it, you might not be here to see Ethan grow up. Robert's hands started shaking. I'll make an appointment, he said quietly. 3 weeks later, Robert sat in an oncologist's office. Early-stage cardiac sarcoma. Rare, aggressive, but caught early. Treatable. The doctor looked at his chart. I have to ask, what made you come in? You had no symptoms. Robert thought about a 13-year-old boy who saw colors no one else could. A friend noticed something. Some friend. Robert called Catherine from the parking lot. Told her everything. Then he called Jamal. You were right. I am sorry. Don't be. You saved my life. Silence on the other end. Jamal. Yeah. Thank you. For seeing what I couldn't. You're welcome, Mr. Mercer. But Robert wasn't done. Subscribe now and comment. Would you trust a 13-year-old stranger who saw something doctors missed? Most wouldn't. But the people who do are about to discover why this black boy's gift will expose the one person who's been trying to silence Ethan all along. And what that person has planned will destroy everything. Robert started treatment immediately. Surgery first, then radiation. The prognosis was good, but it meant weeks away from work, from his family routine. It meant being vulnerable. He hated it, but Ethan visited him every day in the hospital. The boy would sit in the chair next to the bed and describe the colors he saw around the nurses, the doctors, the other patients. That one is scared, he'd say. Dark purple. She just found out her sister is sick. Robert would watch, and inevitably, the nurse would start crying during her shift. How do you know these things? I just see them, Papa. Everyone shows you who they are. You just have to look. One afternoon, Ethan tilted his head. Papa, someone here doesn't have good colors. Robert sat up. What do you mean? There's a person. I've seen them twice now. Dark red with black edges. Really bad. Where? In the hallway. They keep walking past your room. Robert pressed the call button. Marcus appeared within seconds. What do you need, sir? Someone's been walking past my room repeatedly. Find out who. Marcus left. Returned 10 minutes later. Security says a woman has been loitering on this floor. No patient wristband. Claims she's visiting family, but they can't verify it. Find her. But by the time security looked, she was gone. Robert's instinct prickled. Pull the surveillance footage. They did. A woman, mid-40s, business casual, walking past Robert's room 6 times in 2 hours. Each time, slowing down to look inside. Zoom in on her face. The image enlarged. Robert's blood went cold. That's Miranda Hess, my former CFO. Marcus frowned. I thought she left the company 2 years ago. She did. I fired her for embezzlement. Why would she be here? Robert looked at his son. Ethan was staring in the direction of the door. She has bad plans, the boy whispered. Robert called his attorney. Miranda Hess. I need to know everything she's been doing since I fired her. The attorney called back 3 hours later. Robert, you're not going to like this. Tell me. She's been trying to build a case against you for wrongful termination. Hasn't gained traction. But 6 months ago, she started making inquiries about your family. Specifically about Ethan. Robert's grip tightened on the phone. What kind of inquiries? Medical records. School records. She tried to get access through a private investigator. All denied, but she's persistent. Why would she care about my son? I don't know. But Robert, there's more. She's had financial troubles. Severe. She lost everything after the embezzlement charges. Bankruptcy, foreclosure. And last week, she took out a loan from a very questionable source. How much? $50,000. Due in 30 days. Robert hung up and called Marcus. I need protection on Ethan. Now. Sir, what's going on? Miranda Hess is desperate and dangerous. I don't know what she's planning, but my son saw something around her. Something bad. Marcus didn't question it. He'd learned to trust Ethan's sight. Within an hour, 2 additional security personnel were assigned to the house. Catherine was terrified. Why would she target Ethan? I don't know, but we're not taking chances. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Robert sat with him. Papa, I keep seeing her colors, even when she's not here. What does that mean? It means she's thinking about us. About me. Robert pulled his son close. I won't let anything happen to you. I know, but Papa, her darkness isn't just angry. It's empty, like she has nothing left to lose. Those are the most dangerous people. 2 days later, Catherine got a call. Mrs. Mercer, this is Principal Davidson from Ethan's school. Is everything okay? We had an incident today. A woman tried to sign Ethan out early. Said she was his aunt, there for a family emergency. Catherine's heart stopped. We don't have family in the state. I know. We denied her request and called security. She left before police arrived. What did she look like? The principal described Miranda Hess. Catherine called Robert immediately. She tried to take him. Robert was already out of the hospital, against doctor's orders. He called his attorney. I want a restraining order. Today. On what grounds? Attempted kidnapping. The school has footage. I'll file within the hour. But Robert knew a piece of paper wouldn't stop someone with nothing to lose. He called Jamal. I need your help. Jamal arrived at the mansion that evening with his grandmother. Robert explained the situation. This woman, Miranda, she's dangerous. My son sees dark colors around her. I need to know if you can too. You want me to find her? I want you to tell me what we're dealing with. Jamal's grandmother put her hand on his shoulder. Baby, this sounds dangerous. It is, Robert said, but Ethan is in danger. And Jamal is the only other person who can see what my son sees. She looked at Jamal. What do you think? I think Ethan helped me understand my gift. Now I need to help him. Robert showed Jamal the surveillance footage of Miranda at the hospital. Jamal watched. Even through the screen, he could see it. She's not just angry. She's broken. Whatever happened to her, it destroyed something inside. The darkness around her, it's eating her alive. Is she capable of hurting Ethan? Jamal closed his eyes, feeling into the energy he'd seen. Yes, she's desperate, and desperate people do terrible things. Robert's jaw clenched. Then we end this. Ow! We give her what she wants. Catherine stepped forward. Robert, no. She wants to hurt me. She wants revenge. Fine, but she's not using our son to get it. What are you proposing? I'm going to meet with her. Public place. Witnesses. And I'm going to settle this. Marcus shook his head. Sir, that's not safe. Neither is waiting for her to make another move. Jamal spoke up. I should come with you. Absolutely not. You need someone who can see her intentions. If she's lying, I'll know. Robert looked at this 13-year-old boy, brave beyond his years. Why are you doing this? Because Ethan's my friend, and friends protect each other. They set up the meeting. Robert's attorney sent a message through Miranda's lawyer. Robert wanted to discuss a settlement. She agreed immediately. They chose a coffee shop downtown. Public. Cameras. Marcus and 2 other security personnel nearby, but out of sight. Jamal sat at a table in the corner, pretending to do homework. Miranda arrived 10 minutes late. She looked terrible. Thin, tired, desperate. She sat across from Robert. You look like hell, she said. Cancer treatment. Thanks for asking. She didn't react. You said you wanted to settle. I want to know why you tried to take my son. Her face flickered. Surprise, then calculation. I don't know what you're talking about. From the corner, Jamal watched. The darkness around her surged. Lies felt like black smoke. He texted Robert. She's lying. Robert's phone buzzed. He glanced at it. The school has you on camera. Miranda's expression hardened. You ruined my life. You stole from my company. I borrowed. I would have paid it back. You embezzled $2 million. And you have billions. You didn't even notice it was gone until your precious auditors found it. So you thought you'd kidnap my son? She leaned forward. I thought I'd show you what it feels like to lose something you can't buy back. Robert's hands clenched under the table. You're not taking him. Already got close, didn't I? The hospital, the school. How long before I get lucky? Jamal stood up and walked over. Miranda looked at him. Who's this? Someone who can see what you really are, Jamal said. She laughed. What I really am. I'm a woman who lost everything because of him. No, Jamal said quietly. You're a woman who's been lost for a long time. The darkness around you. It was there before Mr. Mercer fired you. Her smile faded. You're empty, Jamal continued. You've been empty for years, and you thought hurting a child would fill it. You don't know anything about me. I know you're in pain, real pain, and I'm sorry for that. But hurting Ethan won't fix it. Tears filled her eyes. Then what will? I don't know, but this isn't it. She looked at Robert. You really brought a child to negotiate with me? He's here because he sees the truth. And the truth is, you're not a monster. You're just broken. Miranda's face crumpled. I lost everything. Then start over. How? I'm $50,000 in debt to people who will kill me if I don't pay. Robert pulled out his checkbook. What are you doing? Catherine's voice in his earpiece. She was listening from the car. Ending this. He wrote a check, slid it across the table. $75,000. Miranda stared at it. Why? Because my son taught me something. Fixing isn't the same as helping. I can't fix what's broken in you, but I can help you start over. I try to take your son. I know. And if you ever come near my family again, I'll destroy what's left of your life. But right now, I'm giving you a choice. Take the money, pay your debt, get help, or keep going down this path and lose everything, including yourself. She picked up the check with shaking hands. I don't deserve this. No one deserves anything. We just get chances. This is yours. She stood up, tears streaming down her face. Thank you. She left. Marcus appeared at the table. Sir, are you sure that was wise? No, but it was right. Jamal sat down. The darkness is still there. Will it go away? Depends on what she does with the chance you gave her. 3 months later, Robert was in remission. The cancer was gone, for now. Ethan was thriving. His parents had stopped trying to fix him and started listening to what he saw. He was teaching other blind children his techniques, helping them understand that sight came in many forms. Jamal visited often. He and Ethan had become inseparable. One afternoon, they sat in the garden. I've been thinking, Ethan said. About what? Why we can see what others can't. And I think it's because we're supposed to help people who are lost. Lost how? Lost in the normal. Everyone's so busy looking at what's in front of them. They miss what's inside them. Jamal smiled. You sound like an old man. I feel like one sometimes. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Ethan tilted his head. Someone's coming. Who? I don't know yet, but they need help. Jamal looked toward the gate. A woman was approaching. Hesitant, nervous. Miranda Hess. She stopped at the gate. I'm sorry to just show up. Robert appeared from the house. It's okay. Come in. She walked forward slowly. I wanted to return this. She held out a check. For $75,000. I paid my debt. I got a job. Therapy. I'm starting over, like you said. But I can't keep this. Robert looked at her. The darkness Jamal had seen was lighter now. Still there, but fading. Keep it, Robert said. Use it to help someone else. Why are you being so kind to me? He looked at his son. Because someone taught me that fixing isn't the same as helping. And everyone deserves a chance to be helped. Miranda wiped her eyes. Thank you. She left. Ethan walked over to his father. You did good, Papa. Robert knelt down. We did good. All of us. Catherine joined them. Marcus, Jamal, and his grandmother. They stood together in the garden. A family, not by blood, but by something stronger. By seeing each other clearly. By helping when others walked away. By understanding that sight came in many forms. And the greatest gift was seeing what others missed. What was real? What mattered? Each other. 5 years later, Ethan was 14. He ran a foundation teaching perception skills to disabled children. Jamal was 18. Full scholarship to MIT. Studying neuroscience, trying to understand the gift he'd had his whole life. Robert was cancer-free. He'd sold his company and dedicated his life to funding research on non-visual perception. And Miranda? She ran a nonprofit helping formerly incarcerated women restart their lives. One afternoon, they all gathered at the mansion. A reunion. Ethan and Jamal sat in the same spot in the garden where they'd first talked about why they could see what others couldn't. You ever figure it out? Jamal asked. Figure what out? Why we have this gift? Ethan smiled. Yeah, we're supposed to show people that everyone's blind to something. And everyone can see something others can't. We just have to pay attention. That's pretty profound for a 14-year-old. I've had good teachers. They looked at Robert and Catherine, at Jamal's grandmother, at Marcus and Miranda. All of them different. All of them broken in some way. All of them healed by seeing clearly. You know what I see around all of them? Ethan asked. What? Gold. Just like what Jamal saw around me. What does it mean? It means they found their purpose. And purpose is the brightest thing anyone can see. Jamal looked at his friend. What's your purpose now? Same as it's always been. Helping people see what they're missing. And what are they missing? Ethan smiled. That the darkness isn't the absence of light. It's just where the light hasn't reached yet. And all of us, everyone, we're just walking each other home. If this story moved you, you already know what matters. The question is, will you stop the next time you see someone who needs help? Will you believe what others dismiss? Will you see clearly? Most people won't. But you're not most people. You made it to the end. That means something. Now go help someone find their light. Before you leave, do this. Don't close this tab and do nothing. You just spent an awesome time hearing about people who actually changed their lives by paying attention to what others ignored. Meanwhile, you're about to scroll to the next dopamine hit and forget this existed in approximately 90 seconds. Here's what happens next. Comment below with one person in your life who's invisible to everyone else but shouldn't be invisible to you. Just their first name and why you've been ignoring what they need, where you prove that you're exactly like everyone in this story who walked past Ethan in the dark. The people who comment are the ones who actually see. The ones who don't, they're still blind. They just read a story about blindness and thought it didn't apply to them. And if this actually meant something to you, subscribe and hit that notification bell right now. Because I'm going to keep telling stories about people who see what others miss, stories that make you uncomfortable, that challenge how you move through the world, that remind you what actually matters. But you'll never find them again unless you subscribe and turn on notifications. The algorithm buries what challenges you. Don't let it. So what's it going to be? Comment their name right now. Subscribe. Bell on dot, don't think about it. Just do it. Because if you can't do something this small after a story like that, you are never going to help anyone anyway. Everyone's watching to see who actually means it. See you in the next story.